Welcome back to my video, guys, and today we're back with Angie's half a year report for 2020. We have the report from January, I believe, to June, to the end of June, and there is some interesting data that they released. Obviously, I'm gonna link everything in the description below so you can read it, because I'm not gonna go over the whole thing in general. I just wanna go over some of the interesting parts I found out about. So, okay. The most important parts, the revenue was 14.5 million euros compared to last year. There was a 5 million euro decrease. Okay. Interesting here is that the employees are actually the same amount compared to 2019 in the same time period. Okay. Something here, we have lifetime sales of No Man's Land reaching 115 million. Obviously, it's been out for almost 5 years, and the average revenue per daily active user in June 2020 was 1.2 euro. Okay, and then Stranger Things is still in development. Then we have a few words from the CEO, and he was talking about how everything is actually. It's not that bad actually. It's they have their goals kind of achieved, and um, there was something interesting here. Development of Stranger Things mobile game has proceeded as planned. The game's concept has been tested, and with the addition of the latest features, preliminary results are promising. We're planning to start bringing the game market and scaling in stages starting fourth quarter of 2020, which is I believe October onwards. And yeah, okay. And he was talking about how the average per daily active user of the Walking Dead games are rising from last year to 0.33 euros. Okay, and there's some key figures here. I'm not gonna go over them. As you can see, it's not like revenue compared to last year and what's the change. It's obviously 25% less, and then you can see that in January into December for the whole of that year. You can have a look at those in the link below. Okay, next up, it's a bit of description of next games. This is something actually interesting here. So this is not really, this is about the whole game industry, and the global market is projected to reach 159.3 billion in revenue this year. And the industry is now estimated to be larger than the film and music industries combined, and by 2023 the revenue is estimated to be at 200 billion over, and the players are estimated to exceed 3 billion of the annual growth, and then engagement due to the result of COVID-19 measures. Okay, mobile games are estimated to generate a total of 77.2 billion in 2020, 13% extra increase from last year. And this is interesting. It's quite interesting here what's happening to the game industry. And yeah, okay, so there's something here interesting. They mentioned about Apple and their new iOS 14 update, and the fact that it basically prevents the user can not allow the apps to collect data for ads. So uses specific information, enables advertising services as Facebook, and allows advertisers to precisely target ads. We had it in the last update where you can select that in the settings if you want to be asked to be specified based on your location area. So yeah, the ads are going to not be targeting you personally. Okay, but for next game this is fine, because they see this change as a positive from the end of users perspective, as it restricts the monopoly of current advertising services. I wonder if next game supports what Fortnite is doing against Apple and Google right now, because that's obviously good for everybody if we can have the in-app purchases cut down by 30% or so, because obviously Apple and Google get that amount of cut for every purchase. Okay, next up we have so the revenue and the earning, the cash flow. We're gonna skip that. Publishing, profitability. Okay, now we go to the games. No Man's Land game performed steadily during the COVID impacted first half year. Due to improved analytics and live operation, we're able to offer players better designed and targeted campaigns and events, and they have improved the ARPDAU. Okay, in particular, the update with playable content and characters from TV shows first and second season, I guess this is the Origins update, was received extremely positively among the players, and then it passed this milestone of 150 million. Now, if you look at last year here, if you look at this, January to March, so the daily DAU is daily active users, and then you have the monthly active users. The daily active users were this number. Now, as you can see, April to June, same year, it goes down. July and December, it went down. And then October to December, it went up a bit. And January to March, this year, it went down, and now it keeps falling down between April and June as well. So yeah, it's falling down. There's less people playing No Man's Land. It's still a lot more than Our World. I believe it's more than double that. But yeah, looking down at Our World's restriction movement had an effect on the capability of playing safely during the first half. However, new updates and functionalities were quickly introduced in the game, such as story-driven missions and free roam, making it easier and safer to play during restrictions. Despite the decline in users, the game ARPDAU continues strong with an essential step in sustainably improving product stability, achieving steady. And now again, we look at the daily active users for January to March, and now we look at April and June, July to December, as you can see, and October to December, again falling down. And this year it just went down. Look at how much it went down. 114,000 down to 83,000 in a couple of months only. I wonder it was because of that whole issue with that season in January, and the flare issues, and a lot of the issues that were there that made people quit. And then, as you can see, this decrease was again felt by another 13,000 down to 70,000 between April and June. And obviously now we're going to the month of September, so it's been a couple of months since June, so I guess maybe it kept decreasing. Maybe we're at 60,000 now or so. But interestingly, the player retention, it seems like they cannot keep it quite well, even though some of the latest updates have been quite solid, I believe, for this game. But yeah, I guess it becomes pretty repetitive and boring to grind the same thing without any new a proper additions. So this is interesting for Our World because it's going down, and this is not quite great for the game. Okay, and yeah, next up we have the this is something interesting. So Stranger Things and Blade Runner is into production, and there is something interesting about Blade Runner, which they now call Blade Runner Rogue. Okay, so Blade Runner Rogue was moved back to production at the end of 2019, and a new Rogue game mechanic was developed and added to the game. With a reform, and name of the game was also changed. The rest of the major updates to serve the new game mechanic are planned for this year. The game has been actively tested and updated during the reporting periods in several different markets, including Canada and development of game countries. I actually played Blade Runner for a bit last year. It's not such a bad game. I wonder what they changed with it. It's not my cup of tea. I don't think I'm gonna play that game. Maybe I'll play Stranger Things. And speaking of Stranger Things, they've actually changed it. It's not gonna be an AR game, augmented reality game anymore. I believe it's a normal puzzle game. Stranger Things has been proceeded during the periods. It was available via Google Play early access testing in select markets, and the techs have focused on this, promising results, and they want to bring it to the stage to the market starting again from October onwards. The testing phase showed the game works better without location-based elements. For this reason, the development of location-based functionalities that were previously in the game was omitted. The game will be a visual puzzle game, a better fit for the Stranger Things brand. The removal of these functionalities did not cause additional investments or delays in the game's development. And then it's a puzzle RPG type of game. And that's pretty much it. There was a bit of interesting information how they have 78% are male employees, 22% are women, and yeah. Okay, I believe only 12% work in No Man's Land, and like 15% work on Ours, and everything else works on the other games. But anyway, something I forgot to mention here is that their CEO mentioned something about how they kind of if they invest into stuff which is gonna make them profit. So if a feature is, they know it's not gonna generate them a lot of profit, they won't work on it. You know, it's all about the priorities, what they're gonna prioritize doing, what they think is gonna generate a lot more profit, and that's what they do, it seems. But yeah, there you go. Have a read through the whole document. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. What do you think about these numbers? Yeah, and as always, see you all in my next